This week, SpaceX conducted the 13th flight test of Starship, and it was arguably the most successful Starship flight we have ever seen. After the dramatic last second abort during the first launch attempt, this time all 33 Raptor engines on Super Heavy came alive. Starship lifted off from Starbase and delivered an almost picture-perfect ascent. The vehicle passed through Max Q, completed a successful hot stage separation, and Super Heavy performed the boost back burn toward the Gulf of Mexico. However, the booster's landing burn did not go according to plan. 5 engines reportedly failed to relight, and Super Heavy hit the water much faster than intended, resulting in a hard splashdown. So while the booster return was still a major improvement compared to Flight 12, SpaceX has more work to do on the Raptor relight sequence and the protection of the engines during re-entry. But the real highlight was Starship itself. After separation, all 6 engines powered the ship along its suborbital trajectory. Starship then opened its payload door and successfully deployed 20 next-generation Starlink V3 satellites for the very first time. They were not just dummy satellites. They established brief connections with SpaceX's existing Starlink network before following Starship's suborbital trajectory and burning up in Earth's atmosphere as planned. Starship also successfully reignited one of its Raptor engines in space, another important capability for future orbital missions. Then came the most important moment of the entire flight. Starship survived atmospheric re-entry, performed its landing flip, and achieved the softest splashdown in the history of the program. For the first time, the ship reached the Indian Ocean fully intact, remained floating and continued transmitting data. And that is absolutely critical. SpaceX can now recover an enormous amount of information about how the heat shield performed during re-entry, including data from areas where tiles were deliberately removed or modified. The heat shield remains one of the biggest challenges on the road toward a rapidly and fully reusable Starship. But Flight 13 showed that SpaceX is making serious progress, and things could become even more exciting during Flight 14. Following the mission, Elon Musk suggested that SpaceX might attempt the first ever catch of a returning Starship as early as the next flight. Imagine seeing the upper stage returning to Starbase and being caught by the giant Mechazilla arms for the very first time. That would be another enormous step toward full and rapid reusability. However, the Flight 14 objectives and launch date have not yet been officially confirmed. SpaceX will first need to analyze the booster engine failures, inspect all the flight data, and determine whether any additional FAA review will be required. Nevertheless, Flight 13 was a huge success for SpaceX. The Starlink deployment worked, the in-space engine relight worked, Starship survived re-entry, and for the first time it completed a fully intact soft splashdown. Lucky number 13 has moved Starship another major step closer to becoming the world's first fully reusable orbital launch system. And before you go, this week also marked the 50th anniversary of NASA's historic Viking 1 landing on Mars. To celebrate, I created a 3-part series called The Epic Story of Humanity's Exploration of Mars. Part 1 is already available here on my YouTube channel, and parts 2 and 3 will follow very soon. So, make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, and I will see you next week for another episode of This Week in Space.